Hi everybody, welcome to our very first colour session for 2023. It's fantastic to be back here to talk all things colour. We've got lots of exciting things going to be happening throughout the course of the year, lots of special guests, so it's going to be a fun-filled 2023, so I'm super excited. I must admit I'm a little bit nervous too because it's been a little while since I've been in front of the camera because we've had a great break, so it's hard to believe that we're almost at the end of February. But for those joining us for the first time, I welcome you all and let you know that these sessions are designed for you. It's an opportunity for you to be able to ask questions about colour, certainly any projects that you're embarking on, and certainly about products. We have an amazing portfolio of wonderful products available via Taubmans PPG that have been designed to protect and beautify your space. So you have certainly come to the right place this evening. I'm hoping that, oh yeah, I've just received a note to say that we're live. Fantastic. I wasn't too sure, being our first one back, whether I had all of the logistics and technology right, but we do, so that's fantastic. So I'm going to let you know that while I am streaming, it's not possible for you to upload any photos, but the sessions run also, I'm in front of the camera for half an hour, and that's an opportunity for you while we're live to ask any questions that you would like some help with. And as I said, while we're streaming, hold off loading any images or photos that you'd like some advice with, and wait until we finish streaming, because I'll be sitting behind the computer for the next half an hour after that or so to answer all of your questions. So that's how we run the sessions. As I said, they're all about you. They're designed to give you confidence with colour, and certainly designed to inspire you. So I thought tonight I'd begin, and I've got quite a few notes here so that it keeps me on track, being my first night back, to take you through what seems to be trending now, and offer some guidance with some colour selections. So if you were to pop into your, oh, we've got a question, so I might just hold off for a moment and let's see what our first question is. Oh, hi Roxy, thank you very much for joining our session. So your question is, hello, what are your thoughts on the colour cotton ball? What does it throw? So does it have good coverage? I'm looking for a bright white that is considered neutral for a 70s home that needs a freshen up. Working with natural cream tiles and original wooden floors. The room I'm working on is a garage converted to a media room with a very low ceiling and low medium light from the west through tinted windows, plus hallway. I've attached photos, thanks. Well, while I'm streaming, I haven't been able to see any photos, but look, your question around cotton ball is a fantastic neutral white, and if anything, it's probably going to, in a darker space, perhaps could slightly or look slightly warmer, which is probably what you want if you're working in an area like the way I work with white, and I'll take you through this. So if you've got a room that is completely saturated with light, if you use a cooler style white, and a white that even has sort of, when I talk a cooler style white, I like to define whites as, so you've got a cool white, a warm white, and a neutral white. And so a cooler white can have more of a, dare I say, a bluer undertone, and that might be attributed to the fact that it has, perhaps it's just a a white base that has just black tint to create that cool white. And so using it in an area that's saturated in a lot of light keeps that space really bright, light, airy, etc. When you use whites that tend to have that cooler undertone in rooms that lack a lot of light, it can sometimes make the room appear grayer and a little bit dull. So sometimes using whites that have a slight warmth to the undertone can work a little bit better. So looking at your cotton ball, I'd say, look, try cotton ball. I'd also suggest that you try Taubmans Crisp White. But what I would suggest, because as I've just pointed out, depending on your lighting, how the room faces, etc., and also what else exists in that space. So depending on what type of flooring you have, your couch, I can go on and on, will depend on how your white can play within its environment. So I suggest getting yourself, so go down to your local hardware, so hop into Bunnings, get yourself a sample pot of the colours that you're wanting to trial out. If you talk to the team at the paint department. Generally, when paint comes into the store on pallets, it has what they call pallet liners, so large pieces of cardboard. See whether you can grab yourself one of those, and what you want to do is trial a metre by a metre sample size. I think that tends to work extremely well in environments, and especially when you're trialing or sampling a colour and you're wanting to see how it's going to work within your space. So 3 coats of your sample pot once dry, 2 areas where I suggest you trial it, and that is up, so where you've got your wall and then where you've got your ceiling. So if you trial it up here, you know, so it's up against the wall as close as you can get to the ceiling as well. You're going to be able to see how it's going to play in natural light, artificial lighting, and also, see how it plays within that space. The other area, I've just lost my train of thought for a moment, the other area as well is down near the floor. So you've got your floor, you've got your wall, so you're going to pop it up against the wall there so that it's touching on the floor, and then you'll be able to see how the colour may or may not be influenced by your floor covering and anything else that exists within that space. They're the 2 best places to trial your colour, and particularly when we're talking about whites, I can't emphasise how important it is to do a test pot. It's the best advice that I can offer, and every time we have a live colour session, or if you'll see me in store, or if I'm out and about training and talking about colour, you will always hear me referencing a sample pot. I think it is the best way and the best indication of how your colour is going to perform. So that's what I would recommend. If you've got any further questions, Roxy, please just pop something else into the feed and I would be very happy to help you. So thank you. Okay, hi Krista, thank you very much for joining our session this evening. So your question or your query is currently painting my whole house in Pebble Bay Quarter. Beautiful colour. What colour blinds for the lounge? Light filled room with chocolate tweed furniture. Oh, that sounds really nice. Depends on which way you want to go. So I'm visualising this space, and I think if you can come back and let me know what colour are your doors and trims. So if you've got sort of a white door and trim which is offsetting the beautiful wall colour, you could look to marry or match the blind colour to your door and trim colour, which will help to tie it all in, because you'll hear me talking about when you are designing a space or creating a space for yourself, implementing the principles of design really help. And one of my favourites is repetition. And by repetition, I mean if you've got white over there, bringing it into the design somewhere else and somewhere else. It just tends to create a cohesive aesthetic, if you like, and it works really well. So that's one way you could go. The other way that you could also go is to, I've heard or read the chocolate tweed furniture. Perhaps look to integrate that chocolate tone into your window furnishing or your blind colour. I think that could work extremely well as well. So hopefully that answers your question. If you do have any further questions, please pop something into the feed and I'll be very happy to answer it. Thanks. Okay, what else have I got here? Okay, Kimberly, thank you very much for joining our session this evening. So thoughts on Regent Grey with a lighter grey brick called Whirlwind from PGH. Let me just see if I can have a look at Regent Grey, and then I can give you my opinion. Where are we? Because it's not there. I might just, while I've got two computers, 3 screens and 2 mice. It's just like, I need to make sure I'm on the right mouse. Okay, let me just have a quick look and see if I can find the colour that we're talking about or that you're referencing on my computer. And then I'll bring it up onto the feed and I can share what I'm looking at in a moment. Let me just see. Monument trim and garage doors. Okay, sorry, I'm also reading what you've just put another question in or another comment, Kimberly. Thank you. So Regent Grey, cladding, Whirlwind, brick and monument trim and garage doors. Beautiful. Okay, I'm just getting Regent Grey up. It's just taking a moment. I think it's been on holidays for too long, a bit like me. And I think we are experiencing some horrible weather coming through. So I think everything just seems to be that little bit slower tonight. So what I might do while that's just doing that, I might continue on to the next and then I'll come back to that in a moment so that I'm not going to hold everybody up. So just bear with me, Kimberly. I won't be too long. Okay, so, thank you, Gwen. Hi, Fee. Love this. Miss you, though. I'm still learning from you. That's lovely to hear. Thank you very much for joining our session this evening, Gwen. I really appreciate it. Hi, Belinda. Thank you very much for joining our session. So let's read out what you have here. Hi, I'm painting the exterior of a sad-looking ex-housing department property, but it is cute and I want a Palm Springs mid-century modern vibe. Love it. It has a skillion roof, vertical cladding and a brick chimney at the front with brick skirts. What do you think will work for a fresh, clean, calm vibe in a low-value Sydney suburb? I'm thinking Colorbond basalt for the bricks, crisp white for the trims and a modern, very pale grey-green for the cladding. Can your colour brain please suggest a great palette combo, please? Okay, I really like where you're going and I'm sure I can. So I will just grab the Colorbond basalt here. Let's see. Okay, so what do you think will work for a fresh, clean vibe? Thinking about modern, very pale grey-green. Okay. Very pale grey-green. Let me have a look. Oh, okay. I've just come up straight away. Oh, that is gorgeous. There is a colour. There's two colours actually. I'm going to pop them into, if my computer wants to play nice, I'll pop it on screen. Where are we? And show you what I am thinking. Bear in mind that this screen doesn't always do the colour justice. So let's just pop that. So it's beautiful and I'll hold it up on the screen as well so you can see what I'm thinking. So there's a beautiful grey-green along with, depending on which way you want to go. So I have basalt here and then I have palm frond, which I think is beautiful. You could go the next one up, which is Misty Lake. The only thing I'm thinking, if you go too light, it's going to, I use this term and I use it a lot, it's going to bleach out. So when it's in full sun, or when you've got the sun beating down on it, colour tends to dilute. And so, and you know, people use beautiful bright whites on the exterior, and then once the sun hits it, it's very, very glary. Now, these tones that I'm looking at have enough tint in them not to be glary, but they do risk, you know, when you've got that full sun, losing the intensity, if you like, of the colour. So what I would recommend, again, and I know I talk about this all the time, but would be to try a sample pot, and I will show you the colour on screen because it looks like it wants to work. And I'll pop myself up in the corner. There we go. So that's the type of colour, as you can see there, to marry with your basalt, and then popping it together with beautiful crisp white. I think you're going to have the most divine colour scheme, that's for sure. So hopefully, Belinda, that sort of hits the mark for you. If not, please pop something into the feed and I will be very happy to come back to you and give you a little bit more advice. So I'll better pop myself back here. All right, so I will go back to Kimberly. Thank you very much, Kimberly, for waiting, and I do apologise. So you're telling me that it's a new colour. Right, let me see if it's in my... Let me see if I can find it on screen. And then hopefully I can answer your question for you. A little bit slow here. It's not me, it's the computer. With a bit of luck. Ah, here we go. I do have it. It's a beautiful colour. I love that. So I'll pop that onto my screen and I'll pop myself up in the corner. That is beautiful. So that, let me just read your initial comment. It's a new colour. It certainly is. Thank you very much. Thoughts on Regent Grey with a lighter brick called Whirlwind from PGH and marrying that with Colour Bond Monument. I think you are going to have a marriage made in heaven with colour. I think they're beautiful. I particularly gravitate towards tones like what everybody can see on screen at the moment, due to the fact that I know they work extremely well with so many other colours and in so many environments, due to that undertone that you can see within that colour. But yes, I think that's going to be beautiful. Well done. Okay, I'm back. And if you need any further advice, please ask some more questions and I'll be very happy to help you. All right, let me see what else I have. Okay, let's just go back. Okay, thank you, Krista, for coming back. So your initial question was, currently painting my whole house in Pebble Bay Quarter. What colour blinds for the lounge and your doors and trims are the same as it's a smaller space? Perfect, because as we know, if you have a small space and if you do your doors and trims the same colour as your wall colour, it helps to create that illusion of more space, because when the eye glances around the room, it doesn't really have a stopping point, if you like. It's not stopping here because there is a change of colour, so it helps to create that illusion of space. I use it quite a lot. I think it works extremely well. Okay, so with that said, if your space is small and you're wanting to help to keep it open, you could find a colour of the blind to be the closest match to Pebble Bay Quarter. I think that's going to work extremely well, and it's going to go with the theme of what you already have by having your doors and trims the same colour. So that would be my suggestion. Probably omit the white. Either that, or I still do think that if you went for a chocolate coloured blind to marry in with your tweed furniture, I think that could work extremely well as well. Thanks. Okay. Kim. Hi Kim, thank you very much for joining our session. So your question is, can you do ceiling same as wall, e.g. Tahira white? Yes, you certainly can. What I would recommend though is that when you are using the same colour within your space, just make sure that the products that you use are fit for purpose. So what I mean by that is ceilings are generally painted in a flat, and the reason they are painted in sort of a flat is to stop any glancing light. And the beauty of a flat finish is that it will stop, or should I say, it helps to hide any imperfections that you may have in your ceiling. So make sure you use a tintable ceiling paint, or you could use something like Taubmans Endure in a matte as well if you can't find something that you are happy with. Taubmans Endure Matte is a fantastic product. It contains ceramic microspheres. It's a true matte, and the beauty of it is that you can give it a really good wash. So yes, certainly you can do your ceilings and walls in the same colour. And as I just said before, as referring back to Krista, who has her doors and trims in the same colour as her walls as well, you can certainly do Tahira white indoors and trims to help keep that space open. So it works really, really well. And if you're going to do that again, your walls are generally done in a low sheen or a matte, and your doors and trims in a semi-gloss or a gloss, depending on the level of sheen that you prefer. And if you're going to do that, when you're starting to use whites for doors and trims, even if you're tinting it up to something like Tahira white, I always recommend using a water-based enamel. The beauty of that is it is non-yellowing, which means it'll stay true to colour. Okay. Hi Vanessa, thank you very much for joining our session. Okay Vanessa, your question is, hi, I'm looking for a soft blue grey, not too light, or baby blue. Any recommendations please? Certainly, let me see what I can find for you. Let's have a look. Soft blue grey, not too light or baby blue. Okay, so a soft blue grey. Right. Lots of beautiful soft blue greys here. Now, the best way, if you are shopping for colour and you're trying to look at the undertone of a colour, what I recommend is to get yourself a piece of white computer paper or white paper and place that behind the colour. Or if you're at the colour wall, grab yourself a brilliant white colour chip, and then when you're popping your colours up against the white, it allows you to see the undertone of the colour. So a soft blue grey. So we've got something like Metal Glow, which is a fantastic colour. I'm just going through what I have here, and then I'll pop something up on the screen. Yeah, soft Metal Glow is a soft blue grey. Then you've got Button Up, which is slightly greyer but still in the realms of that beautiful blue undertone. That'd probably be my two that I would send you to have a look at. I'm just seeing whether I've got anything else that I think would be worth, I mean, there's lots. I shouldn't say anything else that would be worth mentioning. I've got so many. Winter Mist is another actually, Winter Mist is possibly, I think Winter Mist is the one that I'm going to pop up on the screen for you and show you. Let me see. Providing that it wants to work. Maybe it's not computer error, maybe it's me. Let's see what we've got. Okay, now do bear in mind that when you're looking at a computer, what I'm seeing and what you're seeing are probably going to be two different things, and it all depends when you're looking at colour on a screen. It depends on the pixelations, etc. in your screen. So I always recommend a sample pot, and that way you really get to see how the colour really is. So there's a soft blue grey Winter Mist. I think that is beautiful. And when I look at it, because you're looking at a screen, here it is here. It's the top tone here. I think that's beautiful. It's certainly not baby blue by any means, but it does have that grey with that blue undertone. So I'd send you that way to have a look. If that's not what you had imagined, please let me know, and I'd be more than happy to offer some other colour suggestions for you. Okay. What else do I have here? Okay, so hi Nicole, thank you very much for joining us. Sorry, I'm just reading through all of these. Okay, so Pebble Grey Quarter. Will this throw to be a cream white in the dark? Okay, so Pebble Bay Quarter. Let's have a look at this. Probably has more, I think Pebble Bay Quarter is a beautiful tone, and it sits within the realms of being that greys. So when I define greys, I talk about grey. I'll talk while I'm looking the colour up. I talk about grey being categorised into 4 categories. One is a blue grey, one is a red or purple based grey, one is a green grey, which I refer to as being very neutral and very, very easy to work with, and then one is a brown based grey, which is greyish effectively. So for me, and I'm very mindful that everybody sees colour so differently, but Pebble Bay Quarter or Pebble Bay tends to sit within the realms of being that greyish. Here we go. Just grab that. I should know my fan deck off by heart by now, but anyhow. So here is Pebble Bay Quarter. I don't know what you can see. It's a beautiful, beautiful tone. And look, when we talk about how it's going to perform in an environment, there are so many things to consider, as I talked about before, and that depends on what you have for flooring, what you have for lighting, what else is going on within that space. But for me, I think it's going to still have that sort of slight beigey grey undertone. I don't think it's going to throw, and I'm just going to look at it. I don't believe it's going to throw cream per se, because there's a lot of other colours that go into the tint to stop it from being that creamy sort of tone. So I think it's a really good colour to trial. I also think when I say it's a safe colour, and I say that with meaning that it's one of those colours that you know you can recommend and you know that it's going to work and do what it should do within a space. So I'd certainly, definitely trial Pebble Bay Quarter. I think it's a beautiful tone, and I have recommended that colour many times, and everybody that I've recommended Pebble Bay Quarter to have always been very happy and satisfied with the outcome. So certainly get yourself a sample pot, metre by a metre square of cardboard, 3 coats, brush it out, trial it up near the ceiling, down in the floor as I talked about earlier, and see how it performs within your space. Okay, what else do I have here? Thank you, Krista. So do I. You absolutely love Taubmans Endure. Asthmatic in the family and absolutely no smell and goes on like a dream, and that it does. And I can attest to that from having used it myself, having trained on it in many environments. We've used it in store, in lunchrooms, etc., where people have had or suffered asthma and have been a little bit nervous about being around it. But honestly, the feedback I get from that is just a fantastic product, and I thoroughly recommend it. Okay. Rightio, I've got lots of questions here, but I've got doubles up, so just bear with me while I'm having a quick Okay, Krista, thank you. Thank you very much, Fiona. Your suggestions before Christmas and those you gave me today have been really helpful. Sometimes it's easy to second guess. Thank you, and thanks, Taubmans. You're very, very welcome. That's what we're here for. We're here, as I said, we've just reconvened this evening, but we're here every Thursday night to offer you assistance with your colour choices, with your product choices, whether you're working on any projects, etc. So you've come to the right place, and I'm glad that we could help you. Okay, so really good question, Lisa. Thank you very much. What does it mean by the sun bleaching white paint? So look, it's not it doesn't bleach it per se. It means that when you put a colour out into the sun, or when you've got full sun beating down onto a colour, the how do I put it? The colour itself, so nothing happens to the paint. It's not like the paint's been bleaching out or anything, but the colour kind of dilutes in the sun. So a really good example of this is, and Surf Mist is a fabulous white, and I personally love it, and I live in Queensland, and I would say it's probably our #1 white up here that gets used a lot for external usage. And what I love about it is you might look at the swatch and you'll go, you know what, it doesn't look white, but when you use it on or use it for external purposes, when it's in full sun, it really does look a beautiful white, but it has enough tint and undertone within the formulation or the colour itself to emit that glare. So you can sit outside in full sun, have a cup of tea, and you're not going to need your sunglasses on. And I think that's really, really important. And so when I talk, and there's one more tip I'll give you before we conclude, but I will go through all of the questions and sit back here and answer everything else, so you're not forgotten, everybody. When you're shopping for whites and you're not sure where to begin and you're not sure how your white's going to perform outside, there is a really good tip that I offer. And you know what, I'm experienced with colour. I've been working with colour for a very long time, but when I am creating colours with Colorsmith, or when I am looking at whites, and even when I'm talking about whites, when we go out and we educate on colour, Colorsmith, etc., I reference LRV. So every colour has what is called an LRV, which is the light reflectance value. And so when you look at a colour, I like to work in the area, this is just for whites, for example. I like to work from around about 65 to 75, pushing it to 80 max for something that's going to be in full sun. And the reason I look at that number range, if you like, is I know how it's going to perform outside, and I know that it's going to have enough tint within the formulation to be able to handle the sun, meaning that you're not going to be sitting there going, oh my goodness, I can't be out here, it's too glary. And so when you're shopping for whites, if you go to www.taubmans.com.au, now let me just see if my computer's going to do what we want it to do. Okay, it is, hopefully. Okay, so I'll pop my laptop on and I'll pop myself in the corner. So go to, as I said, to go to our website, taubmans.com.au, click on colours, paint colours, and then scroll right down to the bottom. So what you'll find here is the order colour swatches. If you click on that, it's going to take you to a landing page that looks like this. So in here is where you can start to search, if you can make it work, unlike me tonight, is where you can start to search for a colour that you're deciding upon. So I'm going to pop in Surf Mist here, for example. Beautiful. Now, if I click on here, View Colour Details, it brings up all of the information about the colour, but what we're talking about tonight is the LRV, the light reflectance value. So it's saying that it is 66.97, so close enough to 67. So I know that that is going to work, or that colour, if you like, is going to be fit for purpose, so to speak. So really good place to go. So think about that. Colours that sit within that realm work really, really well. And it's the same if you're painting your front door. A lot of front door manufacturers have stipulations around LRVs with colour again, and they will ask for 50 or greater. Anything less than 50 is going to be too dark, and it risks the door twisting and warping, etc. So there's a little bit of technical information there. I'll come back on screen. That's designed to help you with your colour journey, as we are. So reach out to us, more than happy to help you with anything that we can. And while we're talking about it, and I had so much stuff prepared to talk about tonight, but I haven't had the opportunity, but hey, that's okay. We do have, because I know that everybody is talking about renovating, painting, etc. So we do have a fantastic promo that I'll just quickly want to share my screen and show you. Hopefully it comes up. Yep, beautiful. It is paint a room for less than $150. So the products are on screen there to show you the products that are included in the package, if you like. And if you scroll right down the paint a room, it talks about the room size. So a 3.2 metre by 3 metre size room with a ceiling under 2.4 metres. And it goes into a lot more information there around about the terms and conditions. So I'd encourage everybody to, and I'll pop it into the feed, to have a visit, read through the T's and C's, because it's a fantastic promo that we have going at the moment. So I'll come back. Excellent. Thank you so much, everybody. We really have, we've gone over time, and I could keep talking from all the questions that I have here in front of me, but I will sit back and go through them all. If you do have any further questions, please, I will be online probably for the next hour, continually answering. So happy to continue if you've got any further questions. So thank you, everybody, for joining us for our first event for 2023. It's fantastic to be back. Super excited, super keen to be talking all about colour, and look forward to seeing you all again next week, same time, same place. Until then, everybody, happy painting. See you later.